Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I will discuss Constructor. Basically, Constructor is a special method used to initialize objects. It can also be used to initialize initial values for object attributes or properties. This constructor is automatically called when you create an object. But before I go into details, please support the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and hit also the notification bell so that you will be notified with all the new videos that I'm going to upload in this channel. And so, like I said, Constructor is a special method that is called automatically when you create an object. It is also used to initialize values for attributes. The rule is that the name of the class should be the name of the constructor, or basically the name of your constructor should match the name of the class. So let's put into action what I am discussing. So in this case, I have here the Java main program. In the middle, I have the car.java, and I have another Java class, dealer.java. So car and dealer are Java class. Constructor are created inside a class. So meaning to say, I can have a constructor here in the car class and in the dealer class. I can also have here. Okay, so for instance, I will just be creating here in the car class. So there are two ways, possible way to create a constructor, or there are three possible scenario when creating a constructor. The first scenario is that perhaps you would like to create a constructor wherein it doesn't have parameters or parameter. Again, the rule is that first you have to create it inside the Java class, and the name of the constructor is the same name with your class. So in this case, I can say here public, and there is no return type. It's just car like this, and there you go. So this is the constructor. Like I said, you can initialize variables here, or you can set initial statements that will be executed automatically when you create an object. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to say here system.out.println. Let's say hello world. There you go. So as simple as this. This means that when I create an object, automatically this car constructor will automatically be executed when you create an object. And so let's try to demonstrate that. For instance, I'm going to create now an object based on car class. So it will be something like this. So car, I'm going to call my object as obj1 is equal to new car like this. And so this is the constructor now. So automatically it will execute this constructor here. All right. So along with this Java class are my methods, setter and getter. So if I will run now, there you go. We have here hello world. So as simple as that. That's the logic behind it. Okay, so it automatically execute or call the class with the constructor, or the constructor is automatically called. So something like this. So as you can see, it immediately created or printed hello world. So I don't have anything here after 10, just that I called or I just created an object. Okay, so something like that. And so you can also initialize your variable, your attributes. Let's say, for instance, brand is equal to, let's say, Toyota, and the speed is equal to 6. So something like this. So I can print now. If I want to print here the brand, I can also do that. If I want to print also the speed here, I can also do that. I can also do it in my Java main class. So for instance, I'm going to print the brand. So system.out.println. And so I'm just going to say obj1. I'm going to use the getter method. So get brand. So there you go. So if we run now, there you go. The Toyota is there because it has an automatic value. I initialized the value here. Okay, actually it's not automatic, but I just initialized it. Toyota, and then the speed is 6. Same way, I can also print from the Java main class the speed, and I'm just going to use the getter method for speed. Okay, so again, if you go directly here in this tutorial about Constructor and you don't know or you don't understand what is getter or setter method, I am suggesting that you have to watch or go to our channel www.youtube.com/clearly discussed. In here, in this channel, I have created a lot of videos regarding Java programming. The basics of Java programming. I have here inheritance. I have here encapsulation, the Java class and objects. If you are not yet familiar with the Java class and objects, I am suggesting you have to watch this video first, because what we have right now is the constructor, to which you must understand first what is a Java class, Java object, methods, and then inheritance as well. Okay, so I also have other videos like Python programming and XML topic. So please do watch our channel, so that especially this Java here, because we are talking here about constructor, so better watch these videos first so that you will have a better understanding of what we are discussing in this video, the constructor topic. And so let's go back to our topic. There you go. So like I said, you can also use the methods, the getter methods of this class car. So this is the principle behind, or the concept behind, a constructor. It is automatically called when you create an object. Whatever you have here inside will automatically be executed when you create an object. Okay, and then the name of the constructor should match with the name of the class. That's always the rule. Okay, now another scenario is that you can also create a constructor with parameters or parameter, and the parameters are not the attributes. Okay, so we have here attributes brand and speed, but these are not the parameters. Okay, is that possible? Yes, it is possible. Let's say, for example, int A, int B. Of course, you can have different types of data type. Okay, maybe this one is double, the other one is int, or both of these are double, or character, or string, or whatever available data type you can put here. Okay, so for simplicity, I will just use int. So this means that when I create an object, I should also place two arguments here, because there are parameters here. If there are no parameters here, the one that we created a while ago is already correct. So as you can see, it's correct. But because we need parameter, the problem needs parameter or parameters, then For example, we need 2 integer parameters, and so it means here, when I create my object now, I should supply arguments. Let's say 10 and 20. This means that 10 will be taken by A, or the value of A will now be 10, and the value of B will now be 20. So it's going to be something like this. Okay? And so I can use this 10 and 20 in my program now. So that's how it is. Okay, so for instance, here, I'm going to say here, let's say for instance, int sum is equal to A plus B. Is that possible? So when I run now, F6, well, we did not print it, but it was executed. There is no error, right? So I can print here system.out.println sum. And so when I run, there you go, 30 is there. So it will execute first all these things here, 30, and then the hello world, and then it will execute this one. This will be the last. That's the order of execution. So as simple as that. So you have a constructor now with parameters, and these parameters are not the attributes, because we can create a constructor wherein the arguments are the attributes. So in this case, these are not the attributes. So it's possible, yes, we just did it. Okay, so something like this. Now, sometimes another scenario is that there is inheritance. For instance, this class here, okay, another scenario, this is another scenario wherein this car class here will extend to dealer. For instance, extends dealer. There you go. So something like this. So for now, it's working, still working. So I just run it and it's still working. Okay. Now, this one will not work if you have a constructor here in the class dealer. So if you have constructor here, okay, let's see it now. Let's say, for example, we have a constructor here. And so public, again, the rule is that it should be the same with the name of the constructor should be the same with the class name. So there you go. Okay, so let's say this one is going to print system.out.println, let's say test, just simply to print test. Let us see. I'm going to run now. There you go. Okay, so test is printed first. It was executed first. The constructor of this dealer or class dealer is executed first. How is that? Because the class dealer now here is served as the parent or the super class or the parent class. As you can see here, car extends dealer. So this is the parent or the super class. This is the child class or the subclass. So that is why when we run it, it will run or execute first everything here in this constructor under the class dealer. So as you can see, it printed first 30, and then it printed the sum, which is 30, and then it printed hello world, and then it printed this one, the name of the brand or the brand name, which is Toyota. So that's how it is. Okay. So another thing that could happen is that what if there is also a parameter here in the dealer? Right now there is no parameter or parameters. Okay, so right now it's working. Now, if there is parameter, there will be a little bit problem. Let's say, for instance, int C, int D. Okay, just to make it simple, I'm just going to use int C and D. Both of these variables are int. Of course, you can put different data types, double and then int, or int and then double. or both of these are double. It depends on the problem. So I'll just going to use int just to make it simple for you to understand. So what will happen now? If I'm going to save this, as you can see, we have already an error, right? This one, exclamation mark, that means we have an error. We also have an error here. So it signifies error. So what is that error? What happened is that because car will extend with dealer, the problem here is that this number of parameters here, which is 2, there are 2 still missing arguments here. We only have 2 here. It means because it is extended to dealer, it is expected that the parameters here should be 4. Okay, whatever is the number of arguments for dealer, okay, in the constructor, those arguments, those parameters should also be declared here. And that's the rule. Okay, so that's the reason why we have an error here. If we don't have here parameters, there is no problem. Okay, so as you can see, there is no problem, no more errors. All right, so because car extends dealer means the constructor of car have 2, and so it is only expecting 2 because there are no parameters in the dealer class for the constructor. So that's the reason behind. And so if you will put, or if you will place parameters here, because we are extending to the dealer, we inherit dealer, so the public car constructor is expecting another 2. So the rule is this parent here should also have a copy here, should also have parameters here. And so basically that's the only thing that you need to remember. You have 2 here, you have to add those here in the child, because the child is extending to the dealer. Because when you run the program, it is expecting 2 more or 4 or whatever number you have here, number of parameters. So that's the rule there. And so therefore you have to put those here. So for instance, you can change a variable if you want to, but what is important, they are the same in data type. I can use, let's say, M, like that. So I'm just going to follow it so that it will be easy for you to understand. So int C, int D. So these are the child arguments or parameters, and these are the super arguments. Okay, and so because these are super, coming from the super class, these 2, C and D, these are coming from the super class, these are coming from the subclass. And so another thing that you need to do is to, on the next line, you just have to say super, open parenthesis, C and D, semicolon. So the super parameters here, or the parameters coming from the super, you just have to put here on the next line, super, like that. And so now we don't have anymore an error except for this. Because we have here 4 and we only have 2, so we have to supply here, right? So as simple as that. We have 4 here, so now we have to supply here 30, let's say, and then 40. So now we don't have any more errors. So as simple as that. And so when we run now, we don't have any more errors. Okay, so can I print those here? Can I print those C and D here? Can I use them in computation? Yes, we can. So for instance, int sum1 is equal to C plus D. Okay, so I'm just going to print those. There you go. So when I run, there you go. The 70 is there. Okay, so in the beginning you will get confused about this super here and the arguments here, including the arguments here in the other constructor here and constructor there. But constant practice, you will be able to understand the meaning or the concept behind it. Okay, so you can just rewind or repeat this video so that you will understand better what I am saying here. Alright, as simple as that. So again, it will only complicate when the class here will extend to another class, and both class will have a constructor with arguments. Okay, as simple as that. Very simple only. The number of arguments here, you just have to put them here, or the number of parameters here, you just have to put those in the child class. As simple as that. In the child class. Just put those in the child class. And when you call now, when you create now the object, the number of parameters here, you have to make sure that you have the same number of arguments here. Alright? So as simple as that. Now what if another scenario is that the constructor will have a parameter or parameters, but the parameters this time are attributes. Your attributes, for instance here, brand, speed, dealer, address. Okay, so if it is like that, it is now more easy. You will understand this scenario if you understand the scenario that I gave you here, right? With parameters, and the parameters are not attributes. This one that I am saying here. Okay, so how do we do that? Constructor with parameters, and the parameters are the attributes of the class. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one first so that we can make a program for that. We can make a new constructor wherein the constructor are the attributes of the class. Okay, so if this is the case, it's easy this time now. If you are not extending, okay, it's fine. Okay, so if you are not extending, okay, let's remove this one. If you are not extending, very simple, just like this. Okay, just like with parameters and attributes, and the attributes are the parameters. So we are not extending. Very simply, you just have to do like this. Alt insert, press your Alt insert. There is an automatic constructor generator here. So let's just generate the constructor. So just click here or select here, constructor. Again, one more time before I do that, press Alt insert to bring up this menu and just click constructor. And you just have to select all the fields that you think are needed in the constructor. So or you can just click select all and then just generate. Okay, it did not generate. Perhaps I'm going to remove this one first. Okay, let's try it again. Alt insert, constructor, select all and generate. There you go. Okay, so it created public, car, and so on, string, brand, int, speed. So those are our attributes. Okay, so it created an automatic code for the constructor. Just like here, we can create our setter and getter automatically by pressing Alt insert. Again, I have a video for that. You can just check the channel and just watch that video about setter and getter. Okay, so if this is the case now I can call now. I can now create an object. So I'm just going to say car obj1 is equal to new car, open and close parentheses. There you go. But because we have here parameters, so I'm just going to say for the brand, I'm just going to say, let's say Toyota. There you go. and then the speed is, let's say, 6. There you go. Okay, so the initial value of the brand is Toyota. The initial value of speed is 6. Okay, so something like this. And so therefore, if you will now print system.out.println obj1.get brand, it should print Toyota now. So when we run, we have here Toyota because that's the initial value we placed for the brand. Okay, remember that's the purpose of the constructor, to set an initial value. And also, if I would like to print the speed, which is 6, system.out.println obj1.get speed, there you go. So it should print 6 now because that's the initial value. There you go. So as simple as that. Okay, now let's go back to what we have discussed a while ago. What if this time you will extend? Okay, you will extend to, there is an extension, there is extends or inheritance to dealer class. If it is like this, extends dealer, and the dealer doesn't have constructor, still we are good. Program is still working. There is no problem. Just like what I have a while ago, but the topic a while ago is that the parameters are not attributes. Okay, so it's like that. So there you go. So extends dealer, and the dealer doesn't have constructor, still it's working. Now the problem is the dealer class have a constructor. Okay, so that is the problem now. So again, I'm going to put the constructor here, and the parameters will be the attributes of dealer. So just like what we did here in the car class here. And so I'm just going to say here alt insert constructor, and I'm just going to select all the fields and generate. There you go. So we have here the constructor. If I will save now, as you can see, we have a problem now, just like our problem a while ago. Okay, so we have a problem here. So as you can see, we have exclamation mark here, we have exclamation mark here. So the problem is that, again, here, as you can see, we have a constructor in the class with 2 parameters, and also our dealer class have 2 parameters for the constructor. So again, you don't need to be confused here. All you need to do is to make sure that these 2 are also here in this child class. Okay, this is the child class. Because why it is child class? Because we said here car extends dealer. So this is the child, this is the super. So all you need to do is to put the super, the attributes of the super class here, just like what we did a while ago. Okay, so all you need to do is to just copy these things here, right here. Okay, and then just paste them here in the child class, comma, and then just paste those. There you go. So I just pasted string dealer name, string address here. Okay, so as simple as that. And then the next is, on the next line, you just have to put super. Okay, super, then open parenthesis, you just have to say dealer name and address. There you go. Okay, now the only error that we have is, so that is our super class now, I mean child class, it became like this. Okay, the only problem now is this one. So you just have to put here dealer name. Let's say, for instance, dealer is ABC company, and the address is, for example, in Los Angeles. There you go. So it is something like this now. So as you can see, when I save, there is no more error. So as you can see, it's going to be like this, right? Okay, so you just have to follow now your child class. That's the only rule. Okay, so that's how it is. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's going to be something like this here. Here, it's something like that. Now, as you can see, a while ago, I think you have seen me. I typed this one and I typed this one. Okay, now for you to have an accurate answer for this constructor, what you can do is like this. Do not type this anymore. Let NetBeans do it for you. This one also, you don't need to type. So what you will do again is something like this. You can remarks this. You can put a remarks. Okay, but make sure you have the constructor for your superclass dealer. Okay, class dealer. This is your superclass. This is what you have defined here. Car extends dealer. And so for the constructor now, you can just say something like this. Let NetBeans help you to that, so that you will not type anymore these two here and the superclass here. So all you need to do is to press Alt, Insert, and again regenerate again constructor. Select all and generate. Automatically, as you can see, it generated everything, including the attributes of the super. It placed those two here, and also it placed automatically these two here. Alright, Alt, Insert, regenerate the constructor for the car class or the sub class. Then you have to save, and there is no more mistake or error. So something like this. Okay, so here again in the Java main program, so these are the initial value for the brand, the speed, and this one ABC, the initial value for dealer name and address. Okay, so actually we have printed already the Toyota and the 6, which is this one. Same also, if you will print this and this, it will be the same. Okay, so let's try to find out if it is really correct. So obj1 that get what? That is the dealer name, which is this one here. And let's have, or let's print line obj1 that get, this time it is the address, which is this one, semicolon. And when we run, there you go, because these are the initial values. Okay, so that's how we use the constructor in Java. Just always remember, constructor are used to initialize the object, to initialize the initial values of an object, or basically the attributes. Okay, and the name of the class should be the same name with the constructor. And automatically it runs when you create an object. I hope you have learned something new in this tutorial video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on my next one.